Today's webinar, as all of you have understood through the topic, it is a tally way of audit. What I'm going to project is how a different people or different person within our organization, right from the audit assistant to audit manager to the audit partner, how they can look into the data with their own perspective, and how the entire audit can be completed through tally. So we have bifurcated the sessions into the different audit, different people in the organization. Based on their requirement, I will present you what is there in the tally, how we can use the data for what is available, and how to complete this audit process. I will try to finish the webinar as soon as possible because I understand that all of us has to go back to our office and do all our return filing work. The question answer sessions will be there at the last, but during the course of webinar, people can raise the question, and if required, I will answer that question immediately, so that to ensure. But sometimes it may not be possible to answer all the questions at that, and considering the time constraint, I can answer your query at a later stage also, or you can connect with me through email also. I am readily available for whatever requirement is there. Okay, we will start. We will start with our session. All of you are with me. Hope all of you are with me. So first slide. So what we need for an audit process? See, in an audit process, we need the synchronization between work of different people at different stages of audit. So that synchronization and uniformity is very critical to complete any audit. And nowadays, since the assurance practice is becoming very risky day by day, we need to keep the documentation part also for future references. See, I don't know how many of you have faced the scrutiny of either of the regulatory, but during that scrutiny, the main question that is asked to the auditor is whether the auditor has followed the proper audit procedure as per the requirement, and whether all the documentation which were required for the audit are kept in a proper manner or not. So we need to understand two things, that during the course of our audit, we need to diligently follow all the audit procedure. We need to diligently do audit, and above all, we need to keep all the documentation that we have done during the audit process for future references. So we all keep our audit file. Definitely we are keeping it, but sometimes it's very critical to keep it in proper compartment and how that process is done. Okay. So uniformity in process is very critical for any audit completion. So as I told you, I have created three different people within the organization. That is the audit assistant, the audit manager, and the audit partner. Now, each of this person has his own requirement during the audit process. Now, we can't expect from an audit assistant something high level audit objective. But audit partner, being a signing partner, he has to have the bird eye view of the company data, and he has to understand what are the things which audit assistant and audit manager has done during the course of audit. So for him, the critical aspect is the bird eye view, the high level transaction, and whatever queries are generated from the lower hierarchy, whether that queries has been properly addressed by the client and the manager or the partner is satisfied with the reply or not. So for the audit partner, the things are different, and for audit assistant, the things are different. So we are going to start from the query generation to query resolvement and finalization of audit. Okay. The query can be resolved either by an audit assistant or an audit manager, or sometimes within an organization, the role of audit manager and audit partners are combined. So it depends upon your organization, or how you want to bifurcate the role between different person. There can be number of audit assistants. Depending upon their role, they can create the queries. So this all thing will be recorded within that particular data itself. There is no external thing required for recording all the aspect. Okay. Am I fast or it's okay?
So I think the pace is extremely well. It's good.
Well done. Okay. I will continue with my session. So first we will start with the audit assistant. So being the TallyPrime, you can use everyone access the same data and are on the same page. So there is no requirement that we need to copy every time data for accessing. The same data can be accessed from anywhere within that land, or remote access is also available. So depending upon your requirement, you can have the data access. You can set up the data access technique wherever required. There is no restriction into access of data. Okay. The important thing is that all the people within the organization access the same data folder. Okay. Now, first we will start with the audit assistant. Now, audit from analysis and verification. Now, this is the audit screen. I can show you the live data also. So this is the screen. Now, if you see, this is the front screen of this. You have to go to display more report, and then analysis and verification, and then voucher verification. This is what the screen you get from this. Okay. This is the voucher verification screen. Now this screen display all the records that you have done for the purpose of verification of voucher. This is a final screen. Now I will show you how to sample it, and how to verify the voucher. This is the front screen. Now, first screen is the voucher verification. Now, for voucher verification, we need to have the sampling methods. Now, how to create a sampling method? See, in TallyPrime, if you see on the right hand side, there is a master configuration. Now, this master configuration is for having the sampling methods. So, these are the list of vouchers where you need to define the sampling method. Now, each organization can have its own method of sampling. So there is no standard process as to sampling method. Depending upon the criticality of the data and depending upon the things you require, you need to have the sampling method. I'll just this data is if you can't see the data here, you have to just change the PDF. So whenever the data was for what period you want, you will get the analysis period of on the right hand side. That is 1920. Now we will go to the master configuration. Then we will see the sampling method. Now these are the list of voucher type that have been entered in the data. Now for each voucher type, you can have different sampling method. Now this is a one-time exercise that you need to do for each of the data, because initially the data doesn't know what type of sampling method you have adopted. but this can be replicated for each year. There is no need for sampling method to be defined for each year. This method will be replicated for each year. Only for the first year you need to determine the sampling method. Now, if suppose I want for payment, that is amount range. Now, once I click, you get the different sampling method in the drop box. Now, if you see sampling method, all vouchers, sampling method, amount range. In this, you can put any range, maximum and minimum. All the vouchers within that range will be reflected. Then third is Benford analysis. Now, what is a Benford analysis? Now, Benford analysis is a scientific sampling, statistical sampling method, which they have identified that what is the most common number that is there in the data. Based on that common number, it will find out what are the vouchers with that common number. Now, if you see, generally, suppose I want to enter the voucher with a random number. What is the most common key I will use? I will use 1. Now, they have done a statistical method where what is the most common number among the data. On that, they will find out what are the positive and negative variances. You need to see what you want. Depending upon that, the vouchers will be identified. This is the most scientific technique of Benford analysis based on our requirement. Okay. So if you see receipt, you can have even number, you can odd number, you can have specific period, you can have specific vouchers. Now, audit assistant has to first, or audit partner has to first determine what sampling method it want to employ for the particular voucher type. Now, based on that, this chart will be there. Now, for audit file, you need to take the screenshot or print out or export it to Excel for keeping it for the future record. That is, you need to have that understanding that what audit procedure I have followed. Okay, this is the documentation base for our audit file, that which sampling technique I have adopted for the particular voucher type. Now, based on my sampling technique.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I think we are not able to see your tally screen. We are still in the presentation.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so whenever you are switching, then you need to share the screen again, sir.
Okay. Now you can see?
No, sir. So you need to stop sharing and then share it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now it is visible?
Now we can see, sir. Now we can see.
Yeah.
So, sir, just you'll have to explain it again, means.
So this is the first screen, that is you have to define the sampling method for each of the voucher type. This will be a standard process before any voucher verification starts, because Tally per se, the data per se doesn't know which sampling method you want to adopt. Now that can be shown. You can go to master configuration on the right hand side. Okay, I will see. So this is the first screen. You can go to master configuration for sampling method. This will be the screen. These are all the voucher type where the entries are there, and then you can adopt the various sampling method. So these are the various options which are provided to you by Tally for sampling method: amount range, Benford analysis, even number voucher, odd number voucher, specific period, and specific voucher. Once you set up this screen, you can export this screen or take a printout of this screen. So for your audit file, which will help you at a later stage that what is the technique you have adopted for sampling a particular voucher type. Once you come out this, you will have the verification of voucher. Okay. Now same voucher type, you have selected the sampling method. You know what are the sampling technique that is there. Now it will show you a different thing. So these are the total vouchers. These are the vouchers which have sampled. So based on sampling technique, Tally will pick out from all the voucher the sample voucher. Now if you click the sample voucher, you will get this screen which will show what are the vouchers which are sampled by you. Now once you get the sample voucher, you can start the verification. Now suppose I want to verify the first voucher, the Spanish, this is the payment voucher. Now I don't feel anything wrong in this. Then I just go there, verified. I can write verified, okay, enter. The verification note will be there. Now this is the second voucher. Now this is the statutory payment. I want to see the chalan. So I can say internal observation, chalan required. Okay. Then this is PF. I can say external clarification, or if I take some party, this is a landlord. So what I will say, external clarification, confirmation from party. I can write that if suppose specific user has to be assigned, I can assign the user and write. Okay. So this you can create your note. You can create whatever you want to write, or you can just say it is on hold due to non-approval. Okay. So in this fashion, the audit assistant can write all the what is required for this particular sampled voucher. He need not go to all voucher. He can have all the sample voucher in front of him and write all the note. If you see now the status changes. That is, what is the sample voucher? What are the vouchers which I have verified? Depending upon that, the data will be reflected. This data can be kept in the audit file on a periodical basis. Okay. So here there is nothing is verified, so no notes is there. Here few vouchers are verified, on hold vouchers is there. So on the bracket side, if you see this bracket will show what are the vouchers where there is some note or whether it is kept on hold. This can be updated on a regular basis. Okay. Now I will switch to my presentation.
Yes, sir, we can see the presentation.
So this is how the sampling technique will be there. This is how the reports will be generated once the audit assistant has verified all the vouchers with all the notes. Okay. So this is the first step of any audit process. The entire data can be segregated, entire data can be micromanaged with this single screen. None of the voucher will be missed out from this screen, and the bird eye view of entire data can be there. How many vouchers has been verified, how many vouchers has been sampled, what are the critical vouchers, whether that has been kept on hold or not. The audit assistant has to perform this job and keep it ready for either audit manager or the audit partner. Now next is the fixed asset analysis report. That is what, see, this is again a reporting format. This is again a reporting requirement. Normally we need a fixed asset addition chart. Now this is the fixed asset addition chart where additions is shown separately. And we have two more column. That is what is whether it is less than 180 or more than 180. This can be done while Alt 5. That is, you can have a detailed report. Based on detailed report, you can see what are the number of days on which these additions are made. You can export this report as it is and use it for your depreciation or fixed asset chart. Now, next will be the audit manager's job. See, so my audit assistant job will be restricted only to the two portions. That is the verification of voucher, the basic vouching part, and getting out some of the reports which is required for finalization. Okay. Once audit assistant has done his job, then comes the job of the audit manager or audit partner. So we'll go to the audit manager. Now, first thing, partner needs to generate more reporting requirement. The sampling requirement we have already done. Now, the next reporting requirement which I want to present is the related party. Now, this is one of the most critical aspect of our audit report, that is the related party transaction. Now, again, the major problem with the data is what? How a particular ledger we can identify whether it is a related party or not. Now, again, we need to do some basic exercise for identification of whether a particular ledger is related party or not. Now, Tally has made these things very simple for us. We can go for master configuration. Now, same master configuration which we have used for sampling method, same thing for related party. You will have all the list of the entire ledger. If you see on the right hand side, left hand side, it is all item. Now here you can filter it for only creditors, only debtors, or only ledger, the group wise ledger where there is non P&L item. Now based on this, you have to say whether this is a related party or not. Once you set it as a related party, then you can say what is the relation type. So this is the master data or master configuration for setting up of a related party transactions. Now this is one time exercise for any of the particular financial year. You can do it. Same for it will be carry forward for the next financial year and subsequent financial year. So there is no need for duplication of this exercise for each of the financial year. You can do one time exercise and use it for all the years. Now, once you have set up this, then the verification report will again show what is the related party transaction. So these are the related party transaction at one go. Okay, in this, the voucher verification report will be automatically synchronized. Whether the audit assistant has verified all the vouchers which are related to the related party or not. If it has not verified, you can verify it from the screen itself. Okay. Now, do I show it in the Tally? So if I go to Tally, this is the TallyPrime screen. Sorry. This is the TallyPrime screen. Okay. I'm coming out of this. This is the related party. All items. Okay. Here on the right hand side, you can select whether you want for particular thing or not. But I think so for first time you can do for all items. Then suppose this is a related, yes, the relation type, common partner. It will immediately reflect on the right hand side. In this way, you can do for all the things, all the ledger for once, come out and you will have, so there is no transaction with this. I'm randomly writing anything. It's particular ledger where the transaction has happened. So if you see, wherever I have given the related party, the transaction is shown. Okay. Now you can write the verification note. You can want verified. You can write whatever you want, whether you want confirmation or whether you want any additional detail, you can have that note. So this will show. You can export this screen and keep it for your audit file. Okay. Now this is the master screen which is getting updated. That related party transaction total 4, you have verified 1. Now this screen can be regularly updated based on your verification process. You can do as many time verification you want. This screen will get updated. You can keep this screen date wise. You can export it. The date wise printing will be there, so that for your audit file, you can keep tab of what are the different stages on which the audit has been passed. Okay. Any doubt till now? Okay, I will continue with my presentation.
Sir, we do have one question here in the
Yeah,
Q&A. I'll
yeah.
just address that to you. Mr. Mark D'Souza asks that how do we configure related party when transaction directly debited to expense without any party account?
Now, see, that is something which the hygiene of the data is there, because per se the tally doesn't know whether this particular transaction is a related party transaction or not, unless and until a person ledger is selected and that is marked as a related for earlier years. So I think so that is not possible, because if particular transaction is directly debited to an expense account and nothing is returned, that voucher we cannot find out in this report. That may be sampled out or something like that. If you doing the sampling and if you dig down, then only it will be known. Okay. It is not possible for Tally to pick that particular voucher, because data in itself is not understanding whether it is related or not. It will understand related party transaction only through master configuration. And whenever you are doing master configuration, you have to remember what type of ledgers you are selecting for that particular configuration. See, you need to understand entire tally is based on configuration. And configuration is very critical for any particular report. Okay. So this report is included within this framework of configuration. Okay. Am I clear? Hello. Yeah. Should I continue with my presentation?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah. Then next is, that is periodical ledger. That is whether this is for year on year comparison. So in this screen, you will see the list of ledgers and whether this ledger is used for number of years or not. So it is a periodic ledger that is written as years, and you can use it for comparison. That is periodical payment. Now this is what the comparison is there. So if your tally data consists of number of years, then within this screen, you can identify a particular ledger, then go for the periodic payment and receive. If you see this, this is the comparison of 2 years data and what is the variance and what are the number of vouchers. Okay, on the right hand top screen, if you see, the analysis period is 22-23 and previous year period is 21-22. If you change the analysis period, previous year period will automatically change. Okay, in this fashion you can have number of
Sir,
periodical. Yeah.
sorry again. You need to share the screen, sir. Tally screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Very.
Sir, I think
So,
there's an option,
yeah.
means I don't know, but there's an option where you can share, you can switch between screens also, but I think you have some confidential data, then that will also be out. So that's why it's better to do it this way.
Okay.
Sir, we went back to the presentation again.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is the periodic. So I'm showing this in your presentation itself. I will show the tally screen at a later stage. Okay.
sure, sir, sure.
So this is the presentation for periodic payment. So that ledger must be for number of years. Then only the periodical payment will be there. So this ledger must have been used for number of years. Then only this comparative data will be there. And based on the variance analysis, you can identify whether this ledger requires further verification or not. It will give a bird eye view of what is the difference of the expenses in the current year, that is the analysis period, and the previous year. Okay, and so on and so forth. Next, we can come to the role of an audit partner or audit manager or some senior person who needs further verification of the data. Now, for this, we need to go to a different report, that is analysis and verification and data analysis. See, up till now, we have dealt only with the vouching part. Up till now, if you see, all this report were related to voucher verification only. Okay, there was nothing with the data analysis. So this started with the voucher and voucher verification. We covered what is the sampling techniques. We covered what are the sampled voucher, how to put in the note for the sampled voucher. We covered the fixed asset. We covered related party. Then we covered the comparisons of the ledger with respect to the previous years. Three aspects of the vouching has been covered. That is the sampling, the notes, the related party transactions, and the periodic payment. That is the year-on-year comparisons of various ledger in the nutshell. Now we will go to the different aspect of data analysis. This is altogether different from what we have studied up till now. That is the voucher verification. Okay. So first thing, how to go to that screen, I will just show you in stop share. Then I will share the screen. So this is my tally screen. Now, if you see up, I am coming back to the main menu, display more report, analysis and verification. Up till now, we have seen this screen, that is the voucher verifications. Now we will go to the first screen, that is the data analysis. Now, moment I see the data analysis, at present, nothing is seen here since I have not entered any data in 22-23. Now, the first option that I get is verification of chart of account. Now, each of the auditor know that each year we do a lot of regrouping, we do a lot of transfer of ledgers from one group to another group. Now, this exercise has to be done every time because again, the presentation is very critical for any ledger. And sometimes the expense ledger are covered under the asset ledger or liability ledger, we need to shift that ledger from different and correct that thing. Now, this is the single stop of chart verification, how to correct all the charts, all the chart of account in single go. If you see, this is again a filtration done. Now this report is showing two important things, the four important thing rather. The first is accounts squared off during the year. Now these are the all accounts which have zero balance at the end of the year, that is squared off completely. Okay, there is no balance as to this. You can add the note to this particular ledgers. Okay, verified, again note can be written. You can write anything, need confirmation. Okay, now next is not use. Now what is not use? That is, this ledgers were opened but none of the transactions has been done during the current year as well as the previous year. Okay, this is complete. These are list of ledgers which has been created, but no entry has been passed during this particular year, during the analysis year as well as the previous year. So this will show all the ledgers where it is not being used by the accountant or by the company. Now you can decide whether to delete this ledger permanently or not. You can write the note that delete this ledger or do not use. Simply you can add DND, do not use, do not delete, or whatever DNU, whatever technique you want to follow, so that you can permanently keep this ledger out of your data. Next is only balances, no transaction. These ledgers are very critical because this ledger have balances, but there are no transaction done during the particular year. So my closing balance and opening balances are same. There are no transactions. Now I can write that I can need confirmation, or I can say reverse it or write back, whatever you want to write. Write back, write off. You can enter, you can see whether you want to, whatever you have done, whatever notes you want to write. Okay. Now, last thing is use only in current year. If you see, these are the ledgers which are created only in the current year. These are not the ledgers which we have in the previous year. Now, this will help us to eliminate the duplicate ledgers. Okay, this exercise will help us eliminate it to, because see, if the cash is there, it is used only in current year, it is not. So this ledger must have been created in the current year, and normally cash account is there in the data created earlier. Now this being the first year, you will see the cash account. In the subsequent year, you will not see the cash account. So this exercise will help you to eliminate all the duplicate ledgers, or why this particular ledger is created in the current year only. That is, if particular new party is there. So whether this creditor is newly created, we have started purchasing, doing the purchase in this current year only, and what are the balances for this. Okay. So this four exercise, the four filtration is very helpful for audit partner to understand what that particular account has done during this year in the data. That is, what are the accounts which are created, what are the accounts which are used, what are the accounts where there is no transactions, and all this particular aspect. Okay, so this is an exercise which is to be done by the audit partner or the audit manager to have the bird eye view or fill of the data of the company. Now, next is the verification of stock item. This is same thing like the ledger. This is for stock. That is, what are the stock which are used, created in the current year? What are the stock not used in the current year? Next will be the verification of balances. These are the balances that you need to verify. Opening balances are there and entry past this year. These accounts are shown in use only in current. Use only in current year means there is transaction passed in the current year only. Now, where are the opening balance? I don't see. Okay, I'll just check the data. Yeah. So I think what would have happened that while creating this ledger, the person must have entered the opening balance. This ledger, even though using current year only, the person while entering the while opening the account must have entered the opening balance. Then only this can be reflected. Okay. Now in this, if you see for this balance, you have on the right hand side, you can have from a different company. This suppose I want to do the verification for this ledger and I want to compare this with the counterparty ledger. Now, if this is my related party and data of this company is with me, I can open that data and then just say compare company. If that data is open, it will open that particular company on this and you can select the ledger and have the side-by-side comparison of this ledger with the data of other company. Okay. Understood? You can have this for previous year also. You can compare, you can do whatever you want for these ledgers. I will go to my presentation again. Sorry, lot of disturbance. So this is the verification, as I told you. Only balance is used in current year, use only in current year. Now stock item. What are the stock item on hold or what is the verification part? Now this is the ledger comparison, variance analysis. Okay, with respect to previous year, opening and closing. So this is the variation. Now, if you see, this is the closing balance of the previous year. This is the closing balance of the current year. This is the variance. Now, what this percentage signifies? Now, how to use this percentage? How to use this thing for our audit purpose? See, the main aspect is that is normally this account, if the variation is too high, means we have not done the payment or the balance is abnormally high in this particular ledger vis-a-vis the previous year. Now, this is an indication where you may need a further verification why this ledger is showing a significant variance in the balance vis-a-vis previous year. This is only an indication. It may not show up anything wrong in the ledger. It's just the indication that you need further verification. Okay. Now in this, if you see the analytical procedure, you can compare the group vis-a-vis group. You can compare ledger vis-a-vis ledger. You can compare whatever you want. Okay. There is multiple things, but how to keep track of all these things? If you see on the right hand side, there is a save view. Okay. Whatever you are doing, you can just save it for your future reference. TallyPrime has this wonderful ability of saving any view and naming that aspect can be named. The particular view can be have the particular name, and then from go to you can go to that view, save view. Okay. So while doing the audit procedure for the first time through Tally, you have to identify what are the different views you want to save and then export it for your audit file. Okay. And every time your audit partner or audit manager can go to the save view and see updated reports. This is again a comparison, ledger vis-a-vis ledger. Net pending. This is not something, only this report will show you what are the on account voucher. That is, if you are doing bill by bill accounting and some of the payments or some of the vouchers are not marked to a particular bill, then all this on account thing can be shown here, and you can go to that particular voucher and mark it, or you can write a note that to for the accountant that this bill needs to be marked for against particular voucher. Yeah. Then one more report that is available is repeated transactions ledger. Okay. Now again, a random report or a report which may not signify much of the thing, only for a curiosity that what are the vouchers, what are the amount that are repeated for long. So in a particular ledger, this amount is repeated 8 times in a particular in vouchers in data entry. So this is only for curiosity that what are the whether a particular entry, suppose rent entry is for same amount is paid as a rent every month, then how many times it should be repeated? It should be repeated 12 times. But suppose if you see that rent entry is repeated 13 times, means one extra voucher is there. Okay. This is the technique that you need to acquire over the time for the purpose of audit. Now, next is the relative size factor analysis. Now, this is one of my favorite analysis, and in any seminar, I always try to emphasize on this report. Now, what is the relative size factor? I want to take few minutes of all the participants which are present, because this is very important and very interesting report that has been thrown out by the created by Tally for our audit understanding. Now, if you see a particular ledger has its own characteristic. That is, suppose you are purchasing X item from a particular party. The value of that X item is always more or less same. That is, price variation of a particular item may not be more than 10% or 15% in a particular year. Same thing for a particular expense ledger. Suppose printing and stationery. What will be the variation in printing and stationery between two vouchers? It may not be more than 20%, 30, 20, 25%. Okay. Now, what this report is showing, very important thing to understand, this report is showing the variation between the highest amount and the lowest amount of a voucher for that particular ledger. Means what? Suppose I take first, that is the Penal Patel. Now, what is the relative size factor for Penal Patel? It's 96.75. This is very high relative size factor. That is the variation between the highest amount of voucher and lowest amount of voucher is 100 times. Okay. So a particular voucher is, the lowest voucher is of 1 rupee and highest voucher is of 96.75 rupees. That is the variation between the two vouchers. Now, what this report indicates? This report will give us the feeling that in a ledger, a particular voucher has been either very excess or very low. If my relative size factor is too high, it's So I will see a ledger where relative size factor is more than 10. I will scrutinize that ledger in detail, or a particular voucher in that detail, because definitely there is some error in a particular voucher. That's why this report is showing a very high relative size factor. Okay. So any ledger which shows more than 10 times relative size, you have to definitely look into that ledger. That is my recommendation. And I do follow that procedure in whenever I do audit through Tally. Okay. This is very interesting report. I don't see number of people using this report, but I definitely recommend to use all our fraternity this particular report, especially audit partners. You can just scan through, you can scroll, you can export and then sort it out for more than 10. It is very easy to sort it out. It is showing from highest to lowest. This is a very, very, very good report given by the Tally, according to me. Okay. All of you have understood this report? Any query on this? Or how many of you are using this report? Anyone of the participant using this report? Okay. Yeah.
So we
So
have a
let,
chat from Coral Hully S. Opening
yeah.
balances are there and entry passed this year. These
Yeah,
accounts are shown in used only in current year.
I explained this, that this must be due to while creating the ledger, the accountant must have given the opening balance while creating the ledger. It must have not been carried forward during the year. That's why opening balance is shown. Okay. And this ledger is used in current year only. So if you see, my data was for 1920, this was the first year of this data. That's why this, when the account was created for the first time, he must have entered the opening balance. Okay. In the subsequent year, you will not see. Whenever in subsequent year a particular ledger is created, you will not see this aspect. Got the point? Okay. Let me continue. Now this is interbank transfer analysis. This is a minor report. All interbank transactions will be there in this. Now this report may be sometime useful where you can see whether this transaction is done or not. If some high value transactions appear, you can find out why this interbank transfer was done, why a particular the SSE or a client need to do this interbank transfer, and what has happened to subsequent to this transaction. You can write in the note that detailed analysis is required, and accordingly the query or the answer can be solved from the client. Fixed asset we have already seen. Then one more report that is very interesting to have, that is transactions on holiday. Okay. Now this is a report which creates some curiosity among ourselves. Why a particular transaction has happened on a holiday? Suppose a particular sales transaction has done or a particular purchase transaction has been done. Then normally on holiday there cannot be any delivery done or cannot be any sales transaction done. The sales people are not there. Then you can see, you can write a note to this, that this transaction I am not satisfied, or whether this material has been actually dispatched or not. You can see all these notes that can be written in this, and this note can be documented properly. Okay. Should I show this on Tally? I can show you it on Tally. Yes, sir. This is my TallyPrime. Okay. All of you are getting this? relative size. See, data analysis. I need to change the PDF. Fixed asset. Then this is the transactions on holiday. You can write note, whatever note you want to write, you can write note. You can state, write the stage. Now, after verification, you can change the note verified. Okay. Then highest and lowest value transactions. These are highest and lowest value transaction. Again, this is same like my relative size factor. This is same report like relative size factor, the highest value and lowest value. Then pending advances, anything which is advanced which are pending. And this is one more report, that is the stale check. That is all bank reconciliation item where I have not stated that this check has been cleared. Okay, more than 180 days or more than 90 days, depending upon our still. Nowadays it is 90 days. My check will become stale. Now you can say here that internal objection, reverse the entry. Okay, you can write the note that is reverse this entry, this check being stale. You can reverse it. You can show whatever there, whatever you want to write, you can write it here. Your audit partner or audit assistant can also do this and keep it ready for the audit partners. Okay. Any query till now? We can have some queries. Okay, let me continue. Now, but how Tally will know what are the offs? How Tally will, Sunday will be weekly off, suppose. How Tally, the data will know what are the off. Suppose in Pune we have a Thursday for industrial holiday. Then how to configure that? You can configure the your weekly the holidays and all that thing in master configuration in the main screen. Okay, in the main screen you have a master configuration where you can define all your days and whether this day is holiday or not. Okay, so this is, you can at the start of the year you can have the holiday list and the Sundays will be by default. You can have the holidays. If your weekly off is a different date, you can predetermine your weekly off and all that all days will be marked. Okay. But one thing you need to understand, this date or this report will pick up the voucher date and not the date on which it is entered. Okay. So suppose a particular person is so smart, he comes on holiday and enter the voucher on but another day, then this report will not be there. Okay. This report is based on the voucher date and not the system date. It is not picking up the system date. It is just picking up the voucher dates. Do remember this thing before finalizing this report or before using this report. This is very critical to understand. Okay. Pending advances, tail check I have shown you how to do. Now I will show you how to update the report. That is the things has been verified. You can change the verification note anytime you want. There is no, it is not a fixed verification. You can change the verification note wherever you want. Suppose after thorough scrutiny, things are verified, you can have that. Or if you earlier you have verified, but now you want to put it in hold, you can do that also. There is no problem in changing the verification note. Only my suggestion is whenever you are changing any verification note, keep a documentation of that. Take a screenshot or export this report and keep a index file or date-wise folder or date-wise file of this particular thing. Otherwise, you will lose the track what has happened on a particular date. Okay, if you see, this report can be print and export, and this, once you print and export this report, the date of printing will automatically generated on this report. Okay, so there is no need for writing this date. The report itself will give the printing date. So that way the things are very simple. Only thing is you need to export it or print it for your audit documentation or for your audit file, or for the purpose of keeping track of what is the stage, at which stage I have done some changes. Okay. Now we will go towards the end of last leg of our session, that is powering audit. Now I will show you, this is what I was trying to give you, that whatever views you have saved during a particular audit procedure, that is anytime on the right hand side, if you see, there is a save view. See, this is what Alt L. Any view can be saved and named it. You can name that view as save view, and that will appear on your go to screen. I will show you in the data itself. So this is my data. Now, suppose I want to save this transaction on a holiday. I will just go to the right hand side, save view. Now, transaction on a holiday, my view, set this as default view for the report. Yes. If you want to add something, you can say additional configuration, or you can just select. Now, if you see on the top and bottom, here there is go to screen, go to. If you see, there is a transaction on holiday screen, it will appear. I will just show you. Suppose I have gone to balance sheet, then I want to go to this screen again. Just go, it will say. Now this screen will get updated automatically. There is no need. It is not a free screen. It is a live screen. Okay. Any changes in the transaction or any changes in the note, it will automatically appear. If suppose I say verify and I delete this. Okay. Now I go to a different screen. I come back to this screen again. See, things have changed. Okay. So whatever changes have been there, it can be done on a save view method, and this can be repeated, and this screen you can go anytime. In this screen, if you see, you can save as many view you want. Okay. These are all my save view. From any report, you can save that view. You can name that what report you have there. That is by what name you want to save that particular report. And you can see that report as many times as you want. Okay. This is one of the most amazing feature that TallyPrime has given to us. Because earlier, if I want to go to a different report from a particular report, I have to come out and go back. Okay. With this, my go-to screen, I did not do this. I can go to balance sheet. I can go to this. So whatever report I want to save, I can save and I can go to that screen at just with the click of button. Now, one more thing in this, you can apply this save view to all the companies also. But that will be applied only to the data which is present in your system. Okay. That is, if your data, if you have number of companies in your server data, then for all that companies, you can apply this view. So audit firm can have the strategy, can standardize the view for themselves and then apply it for all the companies, and same report can be generated by just click of the button. So do you think this is very amazing? That is, this is a one-time exercise. Whatever reports I want to have for my audit file, I can standardize that report. I can select particular data, standardize that view for my reviews and my audit purpose, and apply that view to all the companies for my audit. Okay. So master configuration is for that particular company. View is for all the companies. Okay. Master configuration is for a particular company and view is for all the companies. That report view you can replicate for all the companies. Understood? Do you feel this is amazing? Or see, if you see, I am doing escape, escape, escape. It is showing me a different views. Okay. I will go to my presentation. So here, this is what the audit partner can see. What are the different views which are saved during the course of audit by the audit assistant or a audit manager. He can directly go to that view and have his own satisfaction. He can create his own view again if he wants and save it for his name. Now, if I want to save a particular view in my name, I can do it also. I can just write my name in the start of that particular report. Okay. So that view, I can formalize that what are all views that are saved by me and that are for of my interest. Now this is the screen where if multiple person have entered the data, that is there are number of data entry users and they have entered the data. If you see, the name of the person who have entered the data is there. Now there are some data entry where it is unknown. Means this is not entered by a particular data entry operator, but someone else. Okay. That's why it is unknown. Now sometimes it is unusual that a particular person has taken a audit that is the owner's password and enter something. Then it will not be there. The owner name will not be shown. It will be shown under unknown. These are all data entry. So whenever you are creating a security protocol, if you have selected the data entry, then you can see. Yes, Rajnikant, you have some query?
There's a question by Rajnikant, as now Tally edit log is on, and
Yeah,
when I verified the data, it is shown that the entry is re-entered.
yeah. So, so someone must have altered that entry. So in a Tally audit log, it is a different. Whenever you are downloading the Tally, you have to download with edit log. And if particular person has changed that particular entry, it will show both the entries in edit log version. That is what was the version 1 of that particular entry and what is the altered entry. Okay, just to identify what are the alterations that are taken place in a particular entry, or when a particular data entry or a particular person who has modified it, who has modified, what type of modification has been done, that all particular thing that can shown in an audit log thing. That is a separate thing altogether because it's a very complex subject. Because for that edit log or for that version, you need to have a security control at very high level. You need to enter, or that particular password user management has to be of high level to have that particular report in a very accurate fashion. Okay, that report will show in detail how many times the voucher has been altered, what are the alterations that have taken place. Okay, so this is what the audit process is there in the Tally in a nutshell. I have tried to expedite the matter, thinking about the time that we are spending. Now, this is what the nut brief I have done. That is entire process we can start. This is the roadmap of audit. That is comparing audit sampling, then voucher verification, then what are the queries that are written, related party, repeated, ledger, high-low, related size factor, addition, deletion, previous year comparison. So this is the entire journey of my audit that that is there in a third eye view or a bird eye view, I can say. And you can select any one of the things that you want. You can log it, you can create the compartment, you can create your own data structure, you can create audit file directly from the Tally by exporting it, because it is showing when it has been printed and when it has been exported. And this is the proof, these are the proofs that is required at a later stage. Okay, whenever if there is any scrutiny from any of the regulatory authorities, these are the proofs that you need to show to successfully ensure that my entire assurance, the audit report signing has been done on some particular scientific basis and not on a random basis. Okay, now after completing my audit, suppose I am doing some voucher modification at my end. It is very critical, and normally I don't suggest any voucher modification at the auditor's place. But due to paucity of time, or due to burden, or due to pressure of completing the audit or finalizing the report, balance sheet, we may end up doing some voucher modifications at our end, at our data, which needs to be communicated effectively to the client, because this is the biggest gap that any CA is facing, that any changes done in the data at the CA office. Normally, it is tedious thing to keep the track of all the modification done and then communicate all the modification to the client to enter in the client data. Okay, now Tally has for few years has introduced this feature, and it has been now actively used by number of auditors or number of professionals or data entry firms. If you see, there is mark voucher feature. Okay, now this is F11. You have to go to F11. So what is the process I will suggest is, whenever you receive a particular data, whenever you receive a particular data, you first you check whether this mark modify voucher is deactivated or not. Because this feature should be deactivated at the client's place. It can't be activated at the client's place. It need to be activated only at the CS office place or where the data is transferred for verification. Okay. First, ensure that this has been deactivated at first level. If it is not deactivated, you can deactivate and reactivate the same. Okay, just deactivate it, come out of the data and go back to data and then again activate the feature. Okay, so first step is to ensure that client is not activating this mark voucher thing. You need to activate this mark voucher feature when for the first time you are receiving this data. Okay, client share the data, consultant enable, consultant finalize. Now what this mark voucher will show, whatever modification you have done in the data that is received from the client's place, all the vouchers which are modified will be reflected at one particular register. Okay, it will be reflected at one particular register. You can say straight away export this register and import it at the client's place. All these vouchers which are modified or newly entered will get inserted in the client's data. Okay, simple. Just see that mark voucher feature is deactivated. You activate it for the first time, or if it is activated, deactivate and reactivate it. Do whatever changes you want. You can modify as number of vouchers you want. You can create ledger, you can modify, you can alter, you can newly enter, whatever. Normally, suppose depreciation entry is passed at CS place or tax provision entries are passed at CS place. All these entry will get reflected in this single register. Okay. And on the right hand side, if you see, you have all the, you can save, again the save view is there. Okay. Now you can export this as it is. If the data is small or if the number of entries are small, the client can re-enter it, or you can export the XML file of the mark voucher. Okay, you can export the XML file also, and client can straight away import the XML file. Once you import the XML file, all these vouchers will get automatically posted. Now this XML file will also create the masters if you have created it for the first time in your office. Okay, there is no need for separately giving masters also. You can export along with master, you can import the XML file along with all the masters if any created at your place. Got this thing? So this is the end result of my audit. That is, after doing all my audit procedure, if I am doing some alteration, if I am doing some entries in my place to finalize my audit, the client need not bother or I need not bother how to communicate this. I can straight away communicate from this mark voucher. Okay. Should I show you in Tally itself so that it is easier for all the people? So this is my TallyPrime. Okay. See, this is the exception report. In F11, I will show you the mark, the features. See, this is the mark modify voucher. Yes, no, you can write. Okay. Then go to display report, exceptions report. These are mark vouchers. So these are all the vouchers which are modified. I can clear all the markings. See. Okay. Now, if I modify any voucher, I will show you how this will appear. Suppose I modify this. and instead of 20, I write 22. Okay. Now I go to report, mark voucher, see. This report will appear. I can export this. I can export this current. Okay. You can configure. You can export in XML. Okay. And this file can automatically imported. So all this voucher will get automatically imported in the data of the client. Okay. Understood? Once you are exported, you can clear the marking. You can save view, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Wonderful. Do you, all of you like this report, or how many of you are using this report? Where is the feature mark voucher? Okay. So that's what I, F11 mark voucher feature is there. You can keep track of all the changes. Now, this mark voucher can be used in a different way also. Suppose I am not confident about my people operating in my office. I can just activate the mark voucher for them also and see what are the changes they have doing in the data. Okay. I can keep track of any changes that has done in the data. Now, in security control, you can have that the people downline, you don't have the right to alter the screen. Okay. Yeah. So this is the end of my session. This is end of my session. Now we can take the question answer as many as you want. Okay. We can take the question answer. Any specific
So
question?
so everyone, you can, if you have any questions, you can put in the Q&A section as well as in the chat. In the next 5 minutes, we'll try to clear it up.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you will have this particular today's session present on our YouTube channel as well
Yeah.
as in the CA community website. I'll just update the link by the end of this session in the chat for everyone. So, sir, we'll wait for 5-10
Yeah.
minutes so that,
Yeah.
sure.
How many participants have seen this verification for the first time? Okay. Oh. So hope all the first timer will start using this verification verification reports available in the Tally. Surprising, this report is for number of years, and as an audit fraternity, we are not using it as a surprising thing. Okay, still better late than never. I think so. Tally Solutions has to have this insight that CA fraternity, the voucher verification and audit techniques needs to be promoted more for the benefit of all the practicing CAs.
Yeah, sir. That I have noted in the session. So, in fact, I'll just tell you, I had means to everyone that there are many features in Tally which people are not aware about. Like I was having an interaction with CA Atul Gupta ji, and he
Yeah.
was mentioning there is a very simplified way of payroll solution present in Tally.
Yeah.
And people are not aware about that. So for MSMEs, for small businesses, it's like gold. You don't need to buy anything else apart from Tally
Yes.
for payroll as such.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, sir, I have noted this down, and we are doing an audit trail campaign for the coming month. So it's
Okay.
probably like we'll take all the feedbacks and we'll do the campaign in that way. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a very nice session,
Nice.
as many people in the chat has also mentioned that so someone named Path has mentioned it was very nice session. Thank you for the same. I think I need help. I need help is for sampling in verification purposes. So I think it was quite a fruitful session if for everyone who attended, and it gave you a basic idea of how audit is simplified by Tally. Thank you so much, sir. And I hope we can continue some of these sessions in the next 2-3 months as well. And
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
have a lot more people asking questions
Yeah.
then and then. Okay.
Yeah.
And to everyone, I'll share, sir, if you have any query or want to connect with sir, you can connect with me directly or through Tally's helpline number, and they'll forward the message to me. I'll share you the email ID of sir.
Yeah. I can share the email ID in the chat
Yeah,
box.
sir, if you can share the email ID right now, that would be great. Okay, I'll share it with everyone, sir's email ID. I have his email ID with me.
So let me thank all the participants for patience hearing. And once again, Tally for giving me this opportunity to conduct this session. Hope it was of great help to all of you. And thanks for patient hearing.
Thank you so much again, sir. It was quite a good session. I've shared your email ID with
Yeah,
everyone.
I also share.
And yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for being a part of this session. And we'll see you next time next week
Yeah.
with another
Yeah.
session. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye, sir.
Okay. Bye.